So today I'm doing a new segment. It's where I'm going to take the stupidest, strangest, or most disgusting fanfiction I can find, and then I'm going to read it out and review it for you guys. I'm going to call it Abominations of Fanfiction. I guess there's no point in waiting any longer, so let's get started.
This is the introduction song. It's not very good, but it's not too long.
Now, the first story I'm reading is going to be called Comrade Skywalker, Episode 1, The Private Property Menace. I found this on fanfiction.net, and it was written by an aroused koala. There's no summary, but let's get started. Chapter 1, The Communist Anakin Awakens. It was shortly after the death of Master Qui-Gon Jinn that Obi-Wan handed me a small red book. It was quite an unassuming volume, dog-eared and battered, with a simple but striking yellow cover design, resembling a crossed hammer and sickle. The title was in bold black lettering. It read, The Communist Manifesto. "Read this book over the holidays, Anakin," Obi-Wan said, "and then we'll talk. And that, comrades, is how I learnt the truth." Well, this is off to a good start, at least. "Anakin, you look different," Padme cried when I returned to Coruscant after the holidays. I supposed I did. I had cut off my Padawan braid because it was an outward symbol of rank, and therefore a tool of classist oppression. I had grown my hair out, and instead of my Jedi robes, I was wearing a red Che Guevara t-shirt. My lightsaber now formed the shape of a red hammer and sickle when activated. "Why are you wearing a shirt with that terrorist on it?" Padme demanded. "He is not a terrorist," I replied. "You have false consciousness and have been brainwashed by the elitist establishment. Che Guevara was actually a soldier who fought for the people's liberation." This is great. "Most interesting, anime," Obi-Wan commented, appearing beside Padme. Now that my eyes had been opened, I could better appreciate his immensely communist facial hair and rugged, working-class good looks. "Anakin," Padme looked at me with concern, and even a hint of fear in her eyes. "Have you become a communist?" "Yes," I said proudly. I had nothing to hide. Padme looked very afraid in a bourgeois manner. No doubt, she was concerned about losing her private property, not to mention the influence she exerted as part of the veneer of fair government and equality that was the Galactic Senate. Everyone knew that the Senate was just full of corporatist and elitist shills, who sought to mask the fact that the galaxy was run by a greedy fascist agenda. Well, he's not totally wrong. "But Palpatine says that communism is evil and doesn't work," Padme cried. "Why would he say that if it wasn't true?" I sighed. It seemed that Padme's false consciousness ran deep, perhaps even too deep for me to correct. Okay, that's the end of Chapter 1. I think I'll do one more real quick, because these are short. Chapter 2, The Jedi Council Shills. Obi-Wan walked through the Jedi Temple. I wrinkled my nose in disgust at the decadent bourgeois lifestyle evident within its walls, as well as the obvious use of the Jedi religion as an opiate for the people. These are actual quotes from the Communist Manifesto, by the way, for those of you that don't know. He led me to the Jedi Council Chamber where the Jedi Masters, those traitors, those vicious attack dogs of the capitalist regime, had gathered. For many centuries they had conspired with the biased media in the Senate to promote decadent capitalist lies about freedom and opportunity, while simultaneously crushing the hopes and dreams of the working class through the economic oppression and state violence. Obi-Wan placed a hand on my shoulder, comradely, as we walked inside. Mace Windu, Yoda, Plo Koon, and Ki-Adi Mundi, the other guy, looked at me coldly. "Skywalker, why are you wearing that symbol of hate?" Mace Windu asked. "It's not a fucking symbol of fucking hate," I cried. "Che Guevara fought against the racist Western exploitation of South America, you fucking racist." "Why would you think that man was a hero?" Plo Koon asked. "I don't know. Why does your fucking head look like a fucking roast chicken?" I replied. "Why does your fucking head look like a fucking roast chicken?" I replied. "That is rude," another Jedi shill asked as he elitistly stepped into the room. "What the fuck is that?" I screamed as I clapped eyes on his capitalist form. "Language, Skywalker," Mace Windu snapped. "Now apologize to Master Yariel Poof." Stop censoring my fucking speed of my fucking free speech, I shrieked in a heroic fashion, as befitted my role as a fucking hero of the fucking people. I stuck my middle fingers up in the council and ran from the room in a very proletariat manner. Okay, so there's 19 chapters of that. I'm obviously not going to read all of it. But, overall, you know, solid 10 out of 10 would recommend. Anakin's, solid reimagining of Anakin Skywalker character as a follower of Karl Marx. Let's overthrow this oppressive bourgeoisie, comrades, alright? This next one I chose just based on the title. It's called Wario and Waluigi, An Erotic Life, by Juicy Dick Hugger. Now that's I believe I've read his work before. He's a true Tolstoy of our times. He's a genius, an absolute genius. I swear, absolute genius. Chapter 1. Wario was in his house one day when Waluigi burst into the house. I've importante news. That's... Okay, yeah, I guess I have to read it like that every time now. I've importante news, Waluigi exclaimed. I've made some spaghetti. What? Let me see, Wario said. Waluigi pulled out the spaghetti from his pockets and threw it onto the table. Why was it in your pocket? Because I didn't have any containers or something, Waluigi answered. Wah. Well, actually that says Waluigi answered. I guess there's no proofreading on fanfiction.net anymore. Just, that's shameful, Dick Hugger. Real shameful. Well, let me see the spaghetto, Waroy said. He moved over to the tabel and inspected the spaghetti thoroughly. It was of good quality, despite being in Waluigi's trousers. But what about the taste, the texture? Only one way to find out. But before Wario could eat it, he had to spice it up first. That was when he turned around, his ass facing the spaghetti, and farted on it. Oh, this is not going to be fun. What are doing? Waluigi asked. I just need to give it some spice, Wario replied. He blasted another nasty sass blast, which reeked of onions and fecal matter. It was perfect, Wario thought. He picked up some of the spaghetti and ate it, tasting the mixture of sour and flatulence. That's disgusting, Waluigi said. Can I try some? Wario had an idea. He took off his pants and exposed his big butt. He put some of the spaghetti... Yeah, okay, I'm not going to read any more of that. But I will say that one of the lines that in the next paragraph is, I'm gonna fuck your butthole, by Waluigi. So, you know, that's definitely strange. There's another 14 chapters after that. But solid two thumbs way up, definitely. That's I've always felt the sexual tension between Wario and Waluigi, and I was always disappointed that the games never followed up on that. So thank you, Mr. Juicy Dick Hugger, for giving the fans what they really want. The next one I'm going to read is called Meeting Hannah Montana by Bert Wilson. It's actually a crossover fanfiction between Hannah Montana and the Bible. Oh boy. Jesus always knew he'd eventually meet Hannah Montana. It was one of his two dreams. The first dream being that everyone's sins forgiven by his dad, and the next to meet 17-year-old pop star Hannah Montana. Ultimately, as the son of God, it wasn't that hard. You really think I'm gonna keep reading after that? Overall, it was kind of strange with Jesus and Hannah Montana doing it, but you know, solid 5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed that. So I'm glad that I was able to do this and read some truly modern and amazing internet literature with you guys. So if you could, you know, subscribe and tell your friends about me, we can do this more often, because this art truly deserves to be shared with the entire world.